Hey, Washington Eagles. It's Mrs. Sayla. Missing you guys. The bedtime story I want to share with you tonight is one of my favorite. It's a trickster tale from the Pacific Northwest. Gerald McDermott is retelling the tale, and he is the illustrator. You'll notice this is a Caldecott book winner. That means that this book won an award for having such brilliant illustrations. So Gerald McDermott is really a well-known illustrator as well. You can see he has a lot of books. I bet you're familiar with some of them. But Raven has always been one of my favorite. Okay. Raven came. All the world was in darkness. The sky above was in darkness. The waters below were in darkness. Men and women lived in the dark and cold. Raven was sad for them. He said, "I will search for light." So Raven flew across valleys and mountains. He flew along rivers and over lakes. There was darkness all around. Then he saw a bit of light far away. He flew and came closer to the light. The light was at the edge of the water. The light came from the house of the great sky chief, and it was shining. Raven perched high in a pine tree on the shore, and Raven just watched. He saw a beautiful young girl emerge from the shining house and go to the edge of the water. She was the sky chief's daughter. She knelt and drank water from a woven basket. Raven changed himself into a pine needle. He fell down from the tree and floated on the water. When the girl drank again, she swallowed the pine needle. After a time, the girl gave birth to a baby. The child was small and dark, with shiny black hair and tiny black eyes. Who do you think the child was? It was Raven. Raven had been reborn as a boy child. The sky chief was delighted with his daughter's child. He called him grandchild. He played with the boy. He carved toys for him. He invited the elders to come and see the curious, wonderful child. The elders gathered in the shining house with the sky chief and his daughter. They watched Ravenchild crawl around the floor of the lodge. He pretended to be playing. All the time, he was trying to get where that light was hidden. He saw a box up here in the corner of the lodge. Remember, it told us it's a trickster tale. The box was large. It was carved and painted with many colors. The box was bright. It glowed, and Ravenchild said, "Ga, ga." "What do you want?" asked his mother. Ravenchild began to cry, "Caw, caw," again. "What does the child want?" asked the elders. And the Ravenchild said, "Ga, ga." He cried and cried and cried. "My grandchild wants the box," said the Sky Chief. The young woman placed the box in front of Ravenchild, but he continued to cry. She took the lid off, and inside there was a smaller box. She took the lid off that box, and inside there was a smaller box. His mother took the lid off that box, and light poured out of it. Light flooded the room. Inside the box was a shining ball blazing with light. What do you think the ball was? It was the sun. "Give him the ball," said the Sky Chief. His mother gave Ravenchild the ball, and Ravenchild stopped crying. He began to play with it. He rolled it around the floor of the lodge. "Ga, ga," he said. Then he changed into a bird. "Ha, ha," he said. And he became Raven once again. "Caw, caw." So he said, "Ga, ga, ha, ha, caw, caw." Trickster, there it was. Sky Chief, his daughter, and the elders looked on in amazement. Raven plucked up the ball of light in his beak, flew through the smoke hole of the lodge, and disappeared into the dark sky. Raven flew over the valleys and the mountains. He flew along the rivers and across the lakes. Raven threw the sun high in the sky, and it stayed there. And this is how Raven stole the sun and gave it to all the people. And why do the people always feed Raven? To thank him for bringing them light. The end. So at the back of this book, if you happen to have it at your house or you could look online, you would see that it gives you instructions on how to make a neat totem pole. And it also gives you an idea of how to make your own stacking boxes, like the ones that they open. There was another one, then they open it, and there's another one. So there's some different ideas here. You could find it online if you went and found this book, I'm sure. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good night, Washington Eagles, and I'll see you on here again soon. Bye.